ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहोदरलिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश नमां विष्णुपादाय विष्णुकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी नमस्ते शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमराय कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने भारतकृष्णाय हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकांत सप्तकाञ्चन गौरं राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी शुभां सुते प्रतिमां हरिः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास गौरभक्त हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। You can recite the shlokas, you can be muted and recite along with me. अपरेयं तस्त्वन्यं प्रकृतिं विद्यमे परं जीवभूतमहाबाहो वेदं भारते जगत् हरियेषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतान्तरन्ति ते बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं यः प्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः ब्रह्मभुवना लोका पुनरावर्तिनो अर्जुना मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमं प्रत्यक्षावगमं धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम् मया ततमिदं सर्वं जगदव्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेषु वस्तुतः सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रता नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते यान्ति देववृता देव पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रता भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्य यान्ति मर्त्याजिनोऽपि माम् पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्तिपरतमश्नामि प्रयतात्मना यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् समोऽहं सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेषोऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम् अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मुक्त्वा भजन्ते मां मुदा भावसमन्विता येषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते Okay. Can someone volunteer to read for them? Okay. Yes. Okay, we'll just so like yesterday, in the beginning of the chapter, Arjuna requests Krishna to show his universal form, and if he is qualified, then Krishna shows him the universal form. So first, Krishna shows the Vishwarupa, and in the Vishwarupa, all demigods are there, the creation is there, all planets are there, everything is there, and it's very magnificent. So many faces, so many hands, so many maces, clubs, all that is there, and all are garlanded, and all are smeared with chandan, etc. It's a magnificent one, and it's a beautiful one. Then Arjuna also offers some prayers. Then Arjuna focuses on the Kala Rupa. Kala Rupa is like where everything is getting destroyed, is entering into the Kala Rupa. And the demigods, they are afraid of it, and they are offering prayers to it like that. And even Arjuna could see that the Kauravas are also entering into the Kalrupa, which means they are also going to be they are destined also to be destroyed. So now, now Arjuna also becomes terrified and offers, asks the Kalrupa, "Who are you? What actually you want?" etc. Then Krishna replies that I am the time, I am the destroyer of everything. Then Kalrupa is further speaking. Yes, so I can recite after me. तस्मात् त्वम् उत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम्
तस्मात्त्वमुत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम्
मय्येव एते निहितः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाची
मयैव इते निहिता पूर्वम् एव निमित्तमात्रं भव साव्यसाचिन्
Therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. We see like Arjuna in the second chapter, he's confused whether he's going to win or he's going to be defeated, and no, he'll be killed by the Kauravas, etc. But here Krishna is telling that no, this is going to happen. Yes, you can read the purpose.
Savyasachin refers to one who has shoot arrows very expertly in the field. Thus, Arjuna is addressed as an expert warrior capable of delivering arrows to kill his enemies. Just become an instrument. Nimitta matram. This word is also very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that the nature is moving without a plan and all manifestations are but accidental formations. There are so there are many so-called scientists who suggest that perhaps it was like this or maybe like that. But there is no question of perhaps and maybe. There is a specific plan carried out in this material world. What is this plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have the domineering mentality which makes them try to lord it over the material nature, they are conditioned. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. The creation and destruction of the cosmic manifestations are under the superior guidance of God. Thus, the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of God. Arjuna was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness and his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service, he is perfect.
This only Krishna also concludes at the end in the last shloka. Yeah, like atheists, they think that everything is under their control. Atheists or materialists, or everything can come under their control. So we see the examples of Hiranyakashipu, Ravana. They wanted to control everyone and everything. And Hiranyakashipu was successful to good extent. Ravana also, but not as much as Hiranyakashipu. But ultimately, they could not control, and they could not control everything, and they could not control Lord Ram or Narsimha. They could not control. Rather, they got controlled by them, and they met their end. Devotee, he is conscious. Devotee acknowledges he also has some ability to control, but that is limited, and it is only meant to contribute to a society in a meaningful way in the service of Lord. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, they also control, but they are conscious that their control is limited and they total it in the service of the Lord. So it's not like again this kind of things. This sloka someone can take and justify that no, everything Krishna will take care, but so we need not do anything. That is not the thing here. Like again, if you see, Krishna did not fight the war. Like Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight the war, and if Arjuna is not ready to, Krishna would have found some another Kshatriya to fight it. And yeah, Krishna promises in ninth chapter, but that is only for very advanced souls. Ananyas chintayantoma mejana paripasati. So if somebody is very advanced, then they can leave the things and they can do something. But otherwise, one should be responsible and be Krishna conscious. Okay, next sloka. Krishna further gives encouragement to Arjuna by saying that the Kauravas are destined to be destroyed. He shows them in like, Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadrutam cha Karnam tatanyam api yodha viram
द्रोणं च भीष्मं च जयद्रथं च कर्णं तथान्यं ज्ञान् अपि योधवीरान्
maya hatam svam jahimam yatista युध्यस्व जेतसि रणे सत्स्नान्
मया हतं त्वं जहिमा व्यतिष्ठा युद्धस्य जेतासि रणे सपत्नान्
Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Yeah, yeah, I can read.
Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but He is so kind and merciful to His devotees that He wants to give the credit to His devotees who carry out His plan according to His desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by His mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as His plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence.
Okay. So, though Krishna in the form of Kalrupa told these things, but Arjuna again starts again offering prayers. And here again, Arjuna is described as Sabyasachi. Sabyasachi means Arjuna has the ability to even shoot arrows using his left hand. So he can use both his hands and simultaneously shoot arrows from both hands. That is called Sabyasachi. Sanjay Uvacha
Sanjay Uvacha
Etat Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya Kritanjalir Vepamana Kiriti.
एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृतार्जलिर्वेपमानः किरीटी
नमस्कृत्वा भूय एव कृष्णं गद्गदं भिताभित प्रणम्य
नमस्कृत्य भूय एवाह कृष्णं स गद्गदं भीतभीतः प्रणम्य
So here Kiriti refers to Arjuna. Kiriti is Arjuna. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows.
As we have already explained, because the situation created by the universal form of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna became bewildered in wonder. Thus he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again. And with faltering voice, he began to pray not as a friend but as a devotee in wonder.
Here the faltering is because of wonder, not out of happiness. Out of happiness also it can happen, but this is because of wonder. Yeah. So here Arjuna glorifies that Krishna's activities are good for all. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha
ताने ऋषिकेशे तव प्रकीर्त्या जगत् हृष्यति अनुरज्यते च
स्थाने ऋषिकेश तव प्रकीर्त्या जगद्बृहस्यत्य अनुरजत्यति च
रक्षांसि भीतानि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वे नमस्यांति च सिद्धसङ्गाः
रक्षा रक्षांसि भीतानि दिशो द्रवन्ति सर्वे नमस्यन्ति च सिद्धसङ्गाः.
O Master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Yes. You can read.
Arjuna, after hearing from Krishna about the outcome of the battle of Kurukshetra, became enlightened. And as a great devotee and a friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that everything done by Krishna is quite fit. Arjuna confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and the object of worship for the devotees and the destroyer of the undesirables. His actions are equally good for all. Arjuna understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded, in the outer space there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets. And they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. When Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it. But others, who were demons and atheists, could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastation form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all.
Okay. Okay, how is Krishna's punishing of demons good for them? Mm, Can think for 1 2 minutes and then we'll discuss. 2 minutes. Yes, so how is it good for them?
Can I
Mm,
answer, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
By punishing them, he nullifies their sinful activities,
Okay,
and
this is
then
one
they
good
can,
point. Good point.
yeah,
Okay, let's hear from
yeah,
you.
they can go back to Godhead.
Yeah, okay, so one is their sins are purified when they are punished by Krishna. Yes, Sundari Subhadra Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
So Prabhuji, sometimes this punishing comes in different ways. I mean, sometimes it is a pre-setting for a leela in a particular yuga, for which Krishna chooses his devotees to have some offense, to set up an example for people. So that time it is to setting the example. And in some cases it comes out of as the desire, like we see in the case of Bali Maharaj's daughter. So she had a desire to have a son like Krishna, but at the same time she had a desire that she will kill by poisoning. So Krishna fulfills the desires also. So sometimes the punishments are for fulfilling the desires, and by that also the gati will be towards Krishna only. And third one, Prabhuji already said that to remove all the sins and purify the person.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, Hema Varna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat pranams. Giving liberation, Prabhu. Example, Shishupal, Putana.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. 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 Yes. So also one more reason, like that is a little common sense thing. Like they're punished, then at least they will stop sinful reaction. They will stop committing sin.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Sorry to interrupt. Your voice was very low, Prabhuji. I couldn't get that.
Now is it better?
Same, Prabhuji.
Is it the same for others also? Or
No, it's fine for us.
it's fine. Okay. Yeah, other reason is at least if somebody is punished, then at least they stop committing that sin they further. So that is also there. Yes. So in that way, Krishna's punishing the demons and scaring the demons is also good. Okay. So that's what, like if criminals are arrested, at least they stop committing that sin. And they may also get reformed. There is good chance they can get reformed. Okay. Now Arjuna is further glorifying the Ishwarupa and Kanavita. Kasmachate Namera Mahatman Gariyase Brahmanopi Adi Kartre Adi.
Kashmachatena nameran.
Kashmachatena namiran mahatman gariyase brahmanopyadi kartre.
Ananta Devesh Jagannivasa Swamaksharam Sat Asat Tat Paramya.
अनन्तदेवेश जगन्निवास त्वमक्षरं सत् असत् तत्परं यत्.
O great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Yes, Prabhu, read purport.
By this offering of obeisances, Arjuna indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all pervading and he is the soul of every soul. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he is the most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and the energy of the Supreme Lord. And Devesha means that he is the controller of all demigods and is above them all. He is the shelter of the whole universe. Arjuna also thought that it was fitting that all the perfect living entities and the powerful demigods offer their respectful obeisances unto him, because no one is greater than him. Arjuna especially mentions that Krishna is greater than Brahma because Brahma is created by him. Brahma is born out of the lotus stem grown from the navel in the abdomen of the Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is Krishna's plenary expansion. Therefore, Brahma and Lord Shiva, who is born of Brahma, and all other demigods must offer their respectful obeisances. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that the Lord is respected by Lord Shiva and Brahma and similar other demigods. The word Aksharam is very significant because this material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He is the cause of all causes, and being so, he is superior to all the conditioned souls within this material nature as well as the material, material cosmic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all great supreme.
Yes. So Lord controls both internal and external energy, and they both control the spiritual world and material world. In that way, everything is controlled by the Lord. Param Nidhanam. Okay, okay. And Lord, everything is under the influence of the Lord in that way. So Lord is Ananta and Jagan Nivasa. Everything of the universe takes shelter of him. And at the end of partial inhalation as well as complete inhalation, everything goes into the abdomen of the Lord. Then Arjuna further continues his glorification. Amadideva Purusha Puranas Namasya Vishwasya Param Nidanam.
त्वमादिदेव पुरुष पुराणास्त्वमस्य विश्वस्य परं निधानम्
Vetasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dama Paya Tatam Vishwamanantarupa.
वेत्तासि वेद्यं च परं च धामात् त्वया ततं विश्वमनन्तरूप.
You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. And you are the supreme refuge above the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is provided by you. You can do.
Everything is resting on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, He is the ultimate rest. Nidhanam means that everything, even the Brahman effulgence, rests on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the knower of everything that is happening in this world, and if knowledge has any end, He is the end of all knowledge. Therefore, He is the known and the knowable. He is the object of the knowledge because He is all pervading. Because He is the cause in the spiritual world, He is transcendental. He is also the chief personality in the transcendental world.
So yes, Krishna has both internal energy and material energy. Under material energy, the whole material world is there, and the Nitya Baddhas are there. And under internal energy, Nitya Siddhas are there, and spiritual world is there. In this way, whole existence is under Krishna. And even during annihilation, the jivas again enter the Krishna. In that way, he is the Param Nidanam. He is the supreme shelter for the material world. And all the elements also again, the material world again gets divided into all the elements, and the elements enter the Garbhodaksha Vishnu or Karmadaksha Vishnu. So in that way, the material world is the shelter for the material world is Krishna. And yes, all knowledge, including Google, ChatGPT, all these things, they are all originated ultimately from Krishna. And Krishna is the knower of that knowledge also. Krishna gives that knowledge and he is also the knower of it. Sometimes in this world, we may give knowledge to somebody, but we may forget. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna remembers everything also. And next verse describes how Krishna is the source of everything. Vayuryamo Agnirvaruna Shashanka Prajapatistvam Prapitamahascha.
वायुर्यमो अग्निर्वरुण शशंक प्रजापतिस्त्वं प्रपितामहश्च.
Namo Namaste Stu Sahasrakritva Punascha Bhuyopi Namo Namaste.
नमो नमस्तेस्तु सहस्रकृत्वा पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते.
You are air and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisance unto you 1,000 times, and again and yet again. Read the purport.
The Lord is addressed here as air because the air is the most important representation of all demigods, being all pervasive. Arjuna also addresses Krishna as the great grandfather because he is the father of Brahma, the first living creature in the universe.
Then in the next shloka, Arjuna becomes more ecstatic and he wants to offer obeisances everywhere, more and more. नमः पुरस्तात् अथ पृष्ठतस्ते नमो नमस्तोऽस्ते सर्वदा एव सर्वा
नमः पुरस्ताद् अथ पृष्ठतस्ते नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वत एव सर्व
अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्त्वं सर्वं सम समप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वा
अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्त्वं सर्वं समाप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वः
Namostute sarvata eva sarva. So I offer you obeisances again and again and everywhere. Samapnosi means okay. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. And it,
The loving ecstasy for Krishna, his friend Arjuna is offering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he is the master of all potencies and all prowess and far superior to all great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Puran 1.9.69, Yoyam tavagato deva samipam devataganaha sattvam eva jagat srishta yatah sarvagato bhavan. Whoever comes before you, even if he be a demigod, is created by you, O Supreme Personality of Godhead.
oh, yes, Arjuna is offering obeisances. Then Arjuna again so seeks forgiveness because earlier, before seeing this form, Arjuna used to treat Krishna as his friend and used to behave very casually with him. So even Arjuna used to sleep and keep legs in his lap. So Saketi matva prasabam yaduttam He Krishna, He Yadava, He Saketi.
Saketi matva prashabham yaduktam He Krishna He Yadava He Saketi
Ajamita Mahimanam Tavedam Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi.
Ajanata Mahimanam Tavedam Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi
यश यशावः सार्धम् असत्कृतोऽसि विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु
यच्चावहसार्थं असत्करो कृतोऽसि विहारसायासनभोजनेषु
ए- एकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षम् तत्क्षमये त्वम् अहम् अप्रमेयम्
एकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षं तत्क्षम क्षमये त्वम् अहम् अप्रमेयम्.
Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed. Pramadat pranayena avasaharda means for joking. Sadkrita. Lay on the same bed or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Yes, read the purport.
Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formerly did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form. Although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend, Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "Oh, my friend, oh Krishna, oh Yadava," etc without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence of the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna.
In one sense, in this verse, he remembered his previous behavior also. He could not forget it. That way. Then again, Arjuna glorifies. Pitasi lokasya characharasya tamasya pujyasya cha gurorgariyan.
पितस्य लोकस्य चराचरस्य त्वमस्य पूजश्च गुरुर्गरीयान्
Natvat samosti abhyadika kutonyo lokatrepi apratima prabhava.
न त्वत्समस्ति अभयदिककुतोऽन्यो लोकत्रये अपि अप्रतिमा प्रभावः.
You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation, of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you in the three words, O Lord of immeasurable power? Yes, read the purport.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is worshipable as a father, is worshipable for his son. He is a spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instructions to Brahma, and presently is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master, and any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be descended in the line of disciplic succession stemmed from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or a spiritual master or of transcendental subject matter. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respects. He is of immeasurable greatness. No one can be greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material. Everyone is below him. No one can excel him. This is stated in Srimad Bhagavad Shvetashvatara Upanishad 6.8. न तस्य कार्यं करणं च विद्यते न तत्समश्चाभ्यधिकश्च दृश्यते. The Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and a body like the ordinary man. But for him, there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind, and himself. Foolish persons do not perfectly know him, say that Krishna is different from his soul, mind, heart, and everything else. Krishna is absolute, therefore, his activity potencies are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities. Therefore, his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him. No one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme
So,
Personality.
yeah, no, no rich person in the world can be as rich as Krishna. No politician in this world can be as powerful as Krishna. So that and no influencer is as famous as Krishna. So Krishna is the greatest, and no one can be equal to. This the knowledge, strength.
The knowledge, strength, activity, and activities of the Supreme Personality are all transcendental. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body, activities, and perfection after quitting his body, returns to him and does not come back again to this miserable world. Therefore, one should know that Krishna's activities are different from others. The best policy is to follow the principles of Krishna that will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is the master of Krishna. Everyone is his servant. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 4.1 5.142 confirms
Ekala.
Ekekal Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasa Babhritya. Only Krishna is God and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes.
So everyone is acting. Some are consciously acting, and some are forced. Like the demigods, devotees, they're all consciously obeying Krishna's order, whereas others they are forced by the modes and material action. Arjuna further continues. Tasmat pranamya pranidaya kayam prasadaya tvam aham ishamidhyam.
तस्मात् प्रणम्य प्रणिधाय कायं प्रसादये त्वम् अहम् ईशमिद्यम्
पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव सख्यु प्रिय प्रियार्हसि देव सोढुम्
पितेव पुत्रस्य सखेव सख्यु प्रिय प्रियायार्हसि देव सोढुम्.
You are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have to you, done to you.
Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, or one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As the father tolerates, or the husband or the master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates.
So Arjuna is requesting, he gave different examples. Like when when the sometimes the son may become angry at father, or son may not do something what father does, but the father tolerates, thinking that he will improve in future or something. He will come to his senses. Sometimes a friend also may become angry at his other friend and all, or the wife may take the husband very casually, though husband may be very great in the outside world. Uh, so sometimes she may scold like how gopis scold Krishna, etc. So, but uh, they tolerate, they don't take it seriously. So similarly, Arjuna is requesting Krishna, so please don't take my casual behavior seriously in the past. Now Krishna speaks. Adrishtapurvam hrishitosmi drishtva bhayena cha pravyatitam mano me.
अदृष्टपूर्वं हृषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे.
तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास.
तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास.
Yeah, this is not Kalrupa again. Arjuna is only now. Arjuna is requesting to again show the previous original form of Krishna. Deva Rupam. Deva Rupam here refers to the original form. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Because Arjuna only wanted to see and he saw, so he is happy. But but still he is afraid because the form is very fearsome, etc. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Can read the purport.
Arjuna is always in confidence with Krishna because he is a very dear friend, and a dear friend is gladdened by his friend's opulence. Arjuna is very joyful to see that his friend Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and can show such a wonderful universal form. But at the same time, after seeing that universal form, he is afraid that he has committed so many offenses to Krishna out of his unalloyed friendship. Thus, his mind is disturbed out of fear, although he had no reason to fear. Arjuna therefore is asking Krishna to show his Narayan form because he can assume any form. This universal form is material and temporary, as the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planets, he has his transcendental form with four hands as Narayana. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky, and in each of them, Krishna is present by his plenary manifestations of different names. Thus, Arjuna desires to see one of the forms manifested in the Vaikuntha planet. Of course, in each Vaikuntha planet, the form of Narayana is four-handed, but the four-handed hold the different arrangements of the symbols: the conch shell, mace, lotus, and disc. According to the different hands, these four things are held in the Narayanas are variously named. All of them form all of these forms are one with Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna requests to see his four-handed feature.
Yeah. You see the Narayan form. Sometimes the club may be on the top left hand, then it may be in the bottom right hand. So like that, four factorial permutations, like 24 forms you get. So there are 24 different Narayan forms are there. And here Arjuna did not become envious of Krishna because that is a spiritual relationship. But in material world, it may be possible if somebody sees the opulence of another friend, they may get envious or insecure. Kireetinam gadinam chakrahastam ichchami tvam drashtum aham tateva.
Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam ichchami tvam drashtumaham tathaiva.
तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते.
तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते.
O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Yes.
In the in the Brahma Samhita 5.39 it is stated Ramadimurtishu sakala niyamena tishtan. The Lord is eternally situated in hundreds and thousands of forms, and the main forms are those like Rama, Narsimha, Narayan, etc. There are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of the Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayana, a spiritual form. This was establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originate from him. This is not different from his plenary expansion, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all of these forms, he is fresh like a young man. That is the constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contaminations of the material world.
So as we discussed yesterday, this universal form is a temporary one and it is a material form, whereas the Narayan is an eternal spiritual form. And yes, Krishna showed the universal form and even the Narayan form, but we don't find any instances where Lord Narayan showed Krishna. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Maya Prasannena Tavajanidam Rupam Param Darshitam Atma Yogat.
Maya prasanne tavaarjunetam rupam param darshitam atma yogat.
तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यं यन्मे त्वदनेन न दृष्टपूर्वम्.
तेजोमयं विश्व अनन्तमाद्यं यन् मे त्वदान्येन दृष्ट्वा पूर्वम्.
Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence.
Arjuna wanted to see the universal form of the Supreme Lord. So Lord Krishna, out of his mercy upon his devotee Arjuna, showed his universal form full of effulgence and opulence. This form was glaring like the sun, and its many faces were rapidly changing. Krishna showed this form just to satisfy the desire of his friend Arjuna. This form was manifested by Krishna through his internal potency, which is inconceivable by human speculations. No one had seen this universal form of the Lord before Arjuna, but because the form has shown to Arjuna, other devotees in the heavenly planets and in other planets in outer space could also see it. They had not seen it before, but because of Arjuna, they were able to see it. In other words, all the disciplined devotees of Lord could see the universal form which was shown to Arjuna by the mercy of Krishna. Someone has commented that This form was shown to Duryodhana also when Krishna went to Duryodhana to negotiate for peace. Unfortunately, Duryodhana did not accept the peace offer, but at that time, Krishna manifested some of his universal forms. But those forms are different from this one shown to Arjuna. It is clearly said that no one had ever seen this form before.
Yes, so this form is only shown to Arjuna, and the Virat forms which are described in Bhagavatam, they are imaginary, which means the sadhaka imagines them, and that is a bona fide way of their sadhana. It's not some speculation. They do it to understand how everything in this world is originating from the Supreme Lord. Like that, they have their own purposes, like around three places they are described. So they have their own purposes. But they are not like shown really by the Lord, but they are kind of imaginations which are given in the scriptures. The next verse shows that Lord tells that Arjuna could see that because of his mercy only. न वेदयज्ञा न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न दानैर्न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः
न वेदयज्ञाधयज्ञिर् न धनेर् न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः
एवं रूपसत्याहं लोके द्रष्टुं त्वादन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा
एवं रूपः शक्य अहं नृलोके द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीरा.
O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of man. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious acts, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Yes.
The divine vision in this connection should be clearly understood. Who have divine vision? Divine means godly. Unless one attains the status of the divinity as a demigod, he cannot have the divine vision. And what is a demigod? It is stated in the Vedic scriptures that those who are the devotees of the Lord Vishnu are demigods. Vishnu Bhakta Smrita Deva. Those who are atheistic, that is, who do not believe in Vishnu or who recognizes only the impersonal part of Krishna as a supreme, cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decry Krishna and at the same time they have the divine vision. One cannot have the divine vision without becoming the pure, without becoming divine. In other words, those who have the divine vision can also see like Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita gives the description of the universal form. Although this description was unknown to everyone before Arjuna, no one can have some idea of the Vishwarup after this incident. Those who are actually divine can see the universal form of the Lord, but one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature and who have the divine vision are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. As described by the previous verse, Arjuna desired to see the four-handed form of Lord Krishna as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. In this verse, there are many significant words, just like Veda Yajna Dhyayane, which refers to studying Vedic literature and the subject matter of sacrificial regulations. Vedas refer to all kind of Vedic literature such as the four Vedas, that is Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda, and the 18 Puranas and the Upanishads and the Vedanta Sutra. One can study these at home or anywhere else. Similarly, there are sutras, Kalpa Sutra and Mimamsa Sutras, for studying the method of sacrifice. Dana refers to charity which is offered to a suitable parity, such as those who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. Similarly, the pious activities refer to the Agnihotra and the prescribed duties of the different castes, and the voluntary acceptance of some bodily pains is called tapasya. So one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances, give charity, study the Vedas, etc. But unless he is a devotee of like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form. those who are the those who are the impersonalists are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form of the Lord. But from Bhagavad Gita, we can understand that the impersonalists are non-devotees. Therefore, they are unable to see the universal form of the Lord. There are many persons who create incarnations. They falsely claim an ordinary human to be an incarnation, but this is all foolishness. We should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita, otherwise, there is no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. Although Bhagavad Gita is considered the preliminary study of the science of God, still it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. The follower of the pseudo incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form, but that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes the devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of the God. So one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Then he can claim that he can show the universal form of what has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations as followers of false incarnations.
So, yes. So austerity, tapasya, Vedic study, all these also, unless one pleases the Lord through them, they cannot see this universal form. So even going to Kumbh Mela, it's an austerity. Maybe for majority, maybe may not be for some, but again, if one just goes on to fulfill material desires and all, that will they cannot see the Lord. Even by doing that, they may not even get the desire to see the Lord. So it is rare. This is rare. So here, this verse indicates how you can only have divine vision by divine blessings. Of course, it can be through Lord or through devotees. So you can take around 7 minutes and you can think of some examples from Shastras where someone saw a spiritual object or a personality with a mundane vision, and how we can reduce the mundane vision or mundane outlook in our life and how to cultivate spiritual vision. I can think and then we'll discuss. Okay, yes, for the first question. Anyone?
Can I answer, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Your voice is bit low, seems, but yes, Prabhu.
Brahmaji looked at the calf and cowherd boys as with the mundane vision.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, fine. Yes, yes. Okay. Any other? Yes, Srikanth, Prabhu.
The first time Gadadhar Pandit saw Pundarik Vidyanidhi as
Mm.
with mundane vision. Can we say that? Or
Okay, okay, that dressing of okay on pandas. Mm.
uh,
Okay, you can say yes, fine. What else? Okay, yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanukram. So, Prabhuji, there is a lots of example Shastra like Duryodhan, Shakuni, and Shishupal, Dantavakra, all the demons, they saw always Lord as a mundane coward boy.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, now how to reduce this mundane vision in our own life? Because we are conditioned, there will be some mundane vision, even in spiritual circles, towards spiritual devotees, etc. So, how to reduce it?
Can I answer, Prabhuji?
Mm. Yes,
Can I answer, Prabhuji?
yes, yes, yes.
By connecting everything with Krishna, looking everything as a
Okay, yeah.
part and parcel of Krishna, or the in connectivity with the Krishna.
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah, okay. In principle, it is correct. Yeah. So, how to do it practically? Yes. Yes, Raj, bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, by the associate of devotees, because devotees taught us how to reduce the mundane vision.
Yes, yes. So,
And by that, because I heard one lecture of Radhanath Maharaj, so he said, if we are not associating with the devotees, so it will not reduce our mundane vision. And by the mundane vision, if Krishna is in front of us, then we cannot recognize he is a Krishna.
yeah. Yes. So, by being in devotee association, it helps. Yes. Okay. Any other point? This is one good point. Yes, Srikanth, bro.
yes, Prabhuji, I think one part was same, associating with devotees. Other is was by hearing and by reading the Shastras, having the Shastra Chakshu.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good, good. Yes, you want to add something? Ah, yes. So, yes, this is also, and another thing is to follow Vaishnava etiquette. So, Vaishnava etiquette helps us in that. Even though somehow if we have a relationship with some devotee not good, but still if you follow Vaishnava etiquette, it helps to overcome negative emotions and try to see things spiritually or appreciate. So that way it helps. Okay, so for the third one, some things are there already discussed. But to cultivate spiritual vision. Yes, yes, Raj, bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, our we can say endeavor is there, but only by the mercy of Lord, our spiritual vision will develop. Because in the case of Arjuna, we can see that he know Krishna is God before the hearing the Bhagavad Gita, but still he considered Krishna as his friend. Similarly, Yashoda Maya saw the universal form like Krishna in his mouth of Krishna, but still he thought he is my son. So there are so many examples. So I thought by the mercy of the Lord only can help to improve our spiritual vision.
But how we get the mercy of Lord?
Prabhuji, by endeavoring, actually, Lord always see there is Krishna help those who help themselves.
Yeah.
So we have to be practice and we have to be try by the associate devotee and reading the shastras, and we have to be like try to being like we have to be like pure devotee. Prabhupada said once, We have to
Try to
try.
follow.
Yeah, we have to try to being a pure devotee.
Yes, yes, yes. So if we practice it, then slowly as our consciousness gets elevated, our vision also gets elevated. Okay. Yes. Of course, we should try to follow Vaishnava etiquette and learn more subtle aspects of the Vaishnava etiquette and all, and try to follow that. And at the same time, do our sadhana well. So then slowly our spiritual vision gets developed. Okay. And we can see in our own life as we practice Krishna consciousness over years, it has improved. It will improve further. Okay. Now Krishna showed the four-handed form. Matte vyatame vimudho bhavo drishtva rupam goram idran mamedam.
आते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावो दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमित्रं मेदम्
व्यपेतभिप्रीत मनः पुनस्त्वां तदेव मे रूपम् इदं प्रपश्य.
व्यपेतभिप्रीतमनः पुनस्त्वं तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य.
You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire.
In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipful grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he need not be afraid of killing his grandfather. The sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrupt Draupadi in the assembly of the Kurus. Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of the duty, they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people are already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjuna because the devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of universal form was shown. Now Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form, the Krishna, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Either a devotee wants to offer his respectful, worshipful feelings, or he wants to see the two-handed Krishna form so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
The devotee wants to see the Lord so that he can offer some service. And he can also experience some reciprocation. That is not something wrong or something against devotional service or something. That's also fine. That is also a part of a loving relationship. It's not like we should not see the Lord only, should just serve. It's not like that. That is also fine. So, and with universal form, you cannot do that. So that's why Arjuna prefers to see this form. Now again, Krishna comes to the two-handed form. Sanjay Uvacha
Sanjay Uvacha
iti Arjunam Vasudevastatopa Swakam Rupam Darshayam Asha Bhuya.
इत्यर्जुनं वासुदेवस्ततोक्त्वा स्वकं रूपं दर्शयामास भूय
Ashwasyam Asha Chabitamenam Bhutva Punah Saumya Vapur Mahatma.
आश्वासया आस च भीतम् एनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्यवपुर्महात्मा.
Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna.
When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as a four-armed Narayana. But when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a four-handed form. But since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again, and then showed himself in the two-handed form. The word Saumya Vapu is very significant. Saumya Vapu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form, and because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita 5.38, it is stated that Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, only a person whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Sri Krishna.
Yeah. So also one lesson we can derive by the whatever we do in the world and all, we have to see the ghastly form of Krishna. So because there are different ways, different types of suffering, different troubles, different anxieties, etc. But in devotional service, when we practice our sadhana and all, we can experience the uh, two-handed form of Krishna. So that can drive away all the trouble and fear we go through while doing different activities in the world. Okay, now Arjuna is pacified and Arjuna confirms it. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Uvacha
Ushtvedam Manusham Rupam Tava Somyam Janardana
दृष्ट्वेदं मानुसं रूपं तव सौम्यं जनार्दन
Idanimasmi Samvritta Sacheta Prakritim Gata.
इदानीम् अस्मि संवृत्तः सचेता प्रकृतिं गतः.
When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, O Janardana, seeing this human like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature.
Here the words Manusam Rupam clearly indicates that the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be originally two-handed. Those who deride Krishna as if he were an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. If Krishna is like an ordinary human being, then how is it possible for him to show the universal form and again to show the four-handed Narayana form? So it is very clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita that one who thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person and who misguides the reader by claiming that it is the impersonal Brahman within Krishna speaking is doing a great injustice. Krishna has actually shown his universal form and his four-handed Vishnu form. So how can he be an ordinary human being? A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows what is what. The original verses of Bhagavad Gita are as clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from the foolish commentators.
Yeah, so we have discussed this in Upanishad and all. Like according to the Advaitavad philosophy, the incarnations of the Lord, uh, they they are formed when Brahman comes in contact with mode of goodness, so that's why they are material. So here Prabhupada is refuting that conception. Now again Lord is speaking. Of course, Lord is not behind him. Shri Bhagavan Vacha
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Sudurdarsham idam rupam drishtavan asi yan mama
Sudurdarshamidam Rupam Drishtuanasi Yanmama
devapi asya rupasya nityam darshana kankshina.
Devapi Asya Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kankshina.
So this form is more rare. Sudurdarsham. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. When the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear.
In the 48th verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna concluded revealing his universal form and informed Arjuna that this form is not possible to be seen by so many pious activities, sacrifices, etc. Now, here the word Sudurdarsham is used, indicating that Krishna's two-handed form is still more confidential. One may be able to see the universal form of Krishna by adding a little tinge of devotional service to the various activities like penances, Vedic study, and philosophical speculation. It may be possible, but without a tinge of bhakti, one cannot see. that has already been explained. Still, beyond the universal form, the form of Krishna with two hands is still more difficult to see, even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him, and we have evidence in Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother Devaki, all the demigods from the heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna, and they offered nice prayers to the Lord. Although he was not at that time visible to them, they waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person, and may offer respect not to him but to impersonal something within him. But these are all nonsensical postures. Krishna is into his two-handed form is actually desired to be seen by the demigods like Brahma and Shiva. In Bhagavad Gita 9.11, it is also confirmed. Avajananti ma muda manushim tanumashritam. He is not visible to the foolish persons who deride him. Krishna's body, as confirmed by Brahma Samhita and confirmed by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, is completely spiritual and full of bliss and eternity. His body is never like a material body, but for some who make a study of Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita or similar Vedic scripture, Krishna is a problem. For one using a material process, Krishna is considered to be the great historical personality and very learned philosopher. But he's an ordinary man, and even though he was so powerful that he had to accept a material body, ultimately they think that the absolute truth is impersonal. Therefore, they think that from his impersonal feature he assumed a personal feature attached to the material nature. This is a materialistic calculation of the Supreme Lord. Another calculation is speculative. Those who are in search of knowledge also speculate of Krishna and consider him to be less important than the universal form of the Supreme. Thus, some think that the universal form of Krishna, which was manifested to Arjuna, is more important than his personal form. According to them, the personal form of the Supreme is something imaginary. They believe that in the ultimate issue, the absolute truth is not a person, but the transcendental process is described in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, to hear about Krishna from authorities. That is the actual Vedic process, and those who are actually in the Vedic line hear about Krishna from authority, and by repeated hearing about him, Krishna becomes dear. As we have several times discussed, Krishna covered by his Yoga Maya potency, he is not to be seen or revealed to anyone and everyone. Only by only by one to whom he reveals himself can he be seen. This is confirmed in Vedic literature. For one who is a surrendered soul, the absolute truth can actually be understood. The transcendentalist, by continuous Krishna consciousness and by devotional service to Krishna, can have his spiritual eyes opened and can see Krishna by revelation. Such a revelation is not possible even for the demigods. Therefore, it is difficult even for the demigods to understand Krishna, and the advanced demigods are always in hope of seeing Krishna in his two-handed form. The conclusion is that although to see the universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult and not possible for anyone and everyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shama Sundara.
Yeah. So this thing, one is the misconception of the Advaitavadis or Mayavadis. The second is of the speculators who considers the universal form is the original form, because they cannot fit that how absolute truth can have a human like form, and they consider also it is material, so how can he fit, so he must be too huge and all. So that's why they consider it like that. So as Prabhupada, one should hear from the parampara and understand it. And another thing is, there is nothing wrong to have a desire to see Krishna, but that desire should not be at the cost of neglecting the service of Krishna. Because service gives happiness to Krishna, and also seeing Krishna also gives happiness to Jiva, so that is not a problem. But that should not be more than the service, the desire to serve Krishna. न हम वेदेर्न तपसा न दानेन न चेज्जया
Naham vedirna tapasa nadanina न चेज्जया
शक्येवं विदो द्रष्टुं दृष्टवान् असि मां यथा.
शक्य एवं विदो द्रष्टुं दृष्टवानसि मां यथा.
So this is a rare form. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. Yes.
Krishna first appeared before his parents Devaki and Vasudev in a four-handed form, and then he transformed himself into a two-handed form. This mystery is very difficult to understand for those who are atheists or who are devoid of devotional service. For scholars who have simply studied Vedic literature by the way of grammatical knowledge or mere academic qualification, Krishna is not possible to understand, nor is he to be understood by persons who officially go to the temple to offer worship. They make their visit, but they cannot understand Krishna as he is. Krishna can be understood only through the path of devotional service, as explained by Krishna himself in the next verse.
So, yeah, so we should. So yes, even those who officially go to temple to worship, their main goal is they want to fulfill some desires. So that's why they don't get attracted to the form. So again, they'll come again on the next Janmashtami only. They will not come again after Janmashtami. They will not come again. So those who have devotion, they can develop that attraction to the deity form and the personal form of the Lord. We should consider ourselves fortunate by the mercy of the Parampara and Srila Prabhupada that we got this opportunity and we should take full advantage of this opportunity. Bhaktya tu ananya shakya aham evam vido Arjuna
भक्त्या तु त्वनन्या शक्य अहम् एवं विदोऽर्जुन
yatam drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa.
ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप.
My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Yes.
Krishna can be understood only by the process of undivided devotional service. He explicitly explains this in this verse so that the unauthorized commentators who try to understand Bhagavad Gita by the speculative process will know that they are simply wasting their time. No one can understand Krishna or how he came from parents in a four-handed form and at once change himself into two-handed form. These things are very difficult to understand by the study of the Vedas or by philosophical speculations. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that no one can see him or enter into understanding of these matters. Those who, however, are very experienced students of the Vedic literature can learn about him from the Vedic literature in so many ways. There are so many rules and regulations, and if one at all wants to understand Krishna, he must follow the regulative principles described in the authoritative literature. One can perform penance in accordance with those principles. For example, to undergo serious penances, one may observe fasting on Janmashtami, the day on which Krishna appeared, and on the 2 days of Ekadashi, the 11th day after the new moon and 11th day after the full moon. As far as charity is concerned, it is plain that charity should be given to the devotees of Krishna who are engaged in devotional service to spread the Krishna philosophy or Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Krishna consciousness is a benediction to humanity. Lord Chaitanya was appreciated by Rupa Goswami as the most munificent man of charity because love of Krishna is which is very difficult to achieve was distributed freely by him. So if one gives some amount of his money to persons involved in distributing Krishna consciousness, that charity given to spread Krishna consciousness is the greatest charity in the world. And if one worships as prescribed in the temple of the India, there is always some statue, usually of Vishnu or Krishna. That is a chance to progress by offering worship and respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the beginners in the devotional service to the Lord, temple worship is essential, and this is confirmed in the Vedic literature, Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.23. Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tata guru yasyeta kathita yartha prakashante mahatmanah. One who has unflinching devotion for the Supreme Lord and is directed by the spiritual master in whom he has similar unflinching faith can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead by revelation. One cannot understand Krishna by mental speculation. For one who does not take personal training under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to even begin to understand Krishna. The word tu is specifically used here to indicate that no other process can be used, can be recommended, or can be successful in understanding Krishna. The personal forms of Krishna, the two-handed form, the four-handed, are described as Sudurdarsham, very difficult to see. They are completely different from the temporarily universal form shown to Arjuna. The four-handed form of Narayana and the two-handed form of Krishna are eternal and transcendental, whereas the universal form exhibited to the Arjuna is temporary. The word Todannina na drishta purvam, text 47, state that before Arjuna, no one had seen the universal form. Also, they suggest that amongst the devotees there was no necessity of showing it. There was no necessity of showing it. That form was exhibited by Krishna at the request of Arjuna so that in future, when one represents himself as an incarnation of God, people can ask to see his universal form. The word na, used repeatedly in the previous verse, indicates that one should not be very much proud of such credentials as an academic education in Vedic literature. One must take to the devotional service of Krishna. Only then can one attempt to write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Krishna changes from the universal form to four-handed form of Narayana and then to his original natural form of two hands. This indicates that the four-handed forms and the other forms mentioned in the Vedic literature are all emanations from the original two-handed Krishna. He is the origin of all emanations. Krishna is distinct even from these forms, what to speak of the impersonal conception. As far as the four-handed forms of the Krishna are concerned, it is stated clearly that even the most identical four-handed form of Krishna, which is known as Mahavishnu, who is lying in the cosmic ocean, and from whose breathing so many innumerable universes are passing out and entering, is also an expansion of the Supreme Lord, as stated in the Brahma Samhita 5.48. Yasyai Kanishvata Sakala Athavalambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanath विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. The Mahavishnu, into whom all the innumerable universes enter and from whom they come forth again simply by his breathing process, is a plenary expansion of Krishna. Therefore, I worship Govinda, Krishna, the cause of all causes. Therefore, one should conclusively worship the personal form of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead who has eternal bliss and knowledge. He is the source of all forms of Vishnu. He is the source of all forms of incarnation, and he is the original Supreme Personality as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In the Vedic literature, Gopala Tapani Upanishad 1.1, the following statement appears: Satchitananda Rupaya Krishnaya Lishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Krishna, who has a transcendental form of bliss, eternity, and knowledge. I offer my respect to him because understanding him means understanding the Vedas, and he is therefore the supreme spiritual master. Then it is said, Krishno Vai Paramam Daivatam. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Gopal Tapni Upanishad 1.3. Eko Vasi Sarvaga Krishna Idaya. Eko Pisan Bahuda Yo Avabhati. That one Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is worshipable. Although he is one, he is manifested in unlimited forms and expanded incarnations. Gopal Tapni 1.21. The Brahma Samhita 5.1 says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, who has a body of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. He has no beginning, for he is the beginning of the everything. He is the cause of all causes. In Vishnu Purana 4.11.4, it is stated, Yatravartir Yat- Yatravartirnam Krishnakhyam Param Brahma Narakriti. The Supreme Absolute Truth is a person. His name is Krishna, and he sometimes descends on this earth. Similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we find a description of all kinds of incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in this list, the name of Krishna also appears. But then it is said that this Krishna is not an incarnation of God, but is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Ete chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Matah Partaram Nanya, there is nothing superior to my form as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He also says elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Adir Hi Devanam, I am the origin of all demigods. And after understanding Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, Arjuna also confirms this in the following words: Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. I now fully understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, absolute truth, and that you are the refugee of everything. Therefore, the universal form which Krishna showed to Arjuna is not the original form of God, but the original is the Krishna form. The universal form, with its thousands and thousands of heads and hands, is manifest just to draw the attention of those who have no love for God. It is not God's original form. The universal form is not attractive for pure devotees who is in love with the Lord in different transcendental relationships. The Supreme Godhead exchanges transcendental love in his original form of Krishna. Therefore, to Arjuna, who was so intimately related with Krishna in friendship, this form of universal manifestation was not pleasing. Rather, it was fearful. Arjuna, who was a constant companion of Krishna, must have had transcendental eyes. He was not an ordinary man. Therefore, he was not captivated by the universal form. This form may seem wonderful to persons who are involved in elevating themselves by fruitive activities. But to persons who are engaged in devotional service, the two-handed form of Krishna is the most dear.
Very long purport. Purport covered around 2, 3 important themes. In the first section, Prabhupada focused that we need devotional service, then only one can see Krishna. And how to do devotional service? So if somebody wants to do penance, they can do penance by fasting on Janmashtami and on Ekadashi, tomorrow is Ekadashi. So, and if somebody wants to give charity, the charity can be given to the devotees of Krishna. And there are other regulative principles, especially in Bhakti Samrat Sindhu, 64 regulative principles, which you'll study when studying enrolling. Then this verse also properly explaining. Here, Yasadeve Parabhaktir, here Deva refers to the deity. And Tata Guru means spiritual master. So you should learn, you will get some information, some knowledge from Guru, and by then serving Guru and serving the deity together, that knowledge will turn into understanding and subsequently realization. So that is what this verse is saying. And then Prabhupada highlighted the personal form of Krishna is the original and all other forms are subordinate to it. So he gave references from Bhagavatam, Aite Chamsakala Pumsam, and also from Bhagavad Gita. So like that, different references he gave to make that point from Brahma Samhita, etc. Okay. Yes. So information many will have, like even scholars or others, non-devotee scholars may have. When like children also, children may not have so much devotion, conscious devotion, but they can memorize shlokas, etc. But as they develop devotion, when they grow up, then they will understand those shlokas more and more, and they'll want to apply the shlokas. Okay. Now Krishna is giving the final instruction to Arjuna. Mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhakta sangha varjita. Can you say?
Sorry, I was on mute. Mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhakta sangha varjita.
Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yasa mam eti pandava.
Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yasa mameti pandava.
My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. Yeah, this is the purport by Shri Baladev Vidyabhushan, as you can read.
He who acts for me, mat karma krit, doing such service as building and cleaning my temple or cleaning the gardens containing my flowers and tulsi, who does not know as his goal, such as Swarga, anything except me, Mat Parama, who is engaged as my devotee by performing, hearing, and the rest of the 9 processes of bhakti, Mad Bhakta, who does not tolerate associating with those opposed to me, Sangha Varjita, but who is devoid of the enmity to even those opposed to me. Nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. Since he considers that the suffering they cause is brought about by himself alone through his previous karmas, that person attains me, Krishna, in my human form. No one else does.
The first thing is whatever activities he does, he tries to direct them towards Krishna or offer the fruits to Krishna. Yeah, best is if we can direct those activities directly towards Krishna. Otherwise, okay, if you have to work outside, work for Krishna. If that is possible, it's good. That not possible, then do some other work and offer the fruits to Krishna. That is also fine. And the goal is to attain Krishna. The goal is not to go to Swarga or attain Brahman or something. So that is Matparana. Then Mad Bhakta means he is practicing bhakti, which is the nine process of devotional service. Shavanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. In one sense, sadhana, doing the regular sadhana. And then his Sangha Varjita, he does not associate with non-devotees. Then, but he does not have hate towards non-devotees. Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu. So such a devotee is will attain Krishna. That is what Krishna is saying, will attain me. Yes, so yeah, this is also a bit long, but yes, you can read.
Anyone who wants to approach the supreme of all the personalities of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky and be intimately connected with the supreme personality Krishna must take this formula as stated by the supreme himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a book directed to the conditioned souls who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording it over the nature and who do not know of the real spiritual life. The Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the supreme spiritual personality and to teach one how to go back home, back to Godhead. Now, here is the verse which clearly explains the process by which one can attain the success in his spiritual activity, devotional service. As far as work is concerned, one should transfer his energy entirely to Krishna conscious activities, as stated in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.2.255. अनासक्तस्य विषयान् यथारम् उपयुञ्जत निर्बन्धः कृष्णसम्बन्धे युक्तं वैराग्यमुच्यते. No work should be done by any man except in relationship to Krishna. This is called Krishna karma. One may be engaged in various activities, but one should not be attached to the result of his work. The result should be done only for him. For example, one may be engaged in business, but to transform that activity into Krishna consciousness, one has to do the business for Krishna. If Krishna is the proprietor of business, then Krishna should enjoy the profit of the business. If a businessman is in the possession of thousands and thousands of dollars, and if he has to offer all this to Krishna, he can do it. This is work for Krishna. Instead of constructing big building for his sense gratification, he can construct a nice temple for Krishna and he can install the deity of Krishna and arrange for the deity's service as is outlined in the authorized books of devotional service. This is called Krishna karma. One should not be attached to the results of the work, but the results should be offered to Krishna, and one should accept as prasadam the remnants of the offerings to Krishna. If one constructs a very big building for Krishna and installs deity for Krishna, one is not prohibited from living there, but it is understood that the proprietor of the building is Krishna. That is called Krishna consciousness. If, however, one is not able to construct the temple for Krishna, one can engage himself in cleansing the temple of Krishna. That is also Krishna karma. One can cultivate a garden. Anyone who has a land in India, at least any poor man has certain amount of land, can utilize that for Krishna by growing flowers to offer him. One can sow tulsi plant because tulsi leaves are very important and Krishna has recommended this in Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Krishna desires that one offer him either a leaf or a flower or a fruit or a little water, and by such an offering he is satisfied. This leaf especially refers to tulsi. So one can sow tulsi and pour water on the plant. Thus, even the poorest man can engage in the service of Krishna. These are some of the examples of how one can engage in working for Krishna. The word mat parama refers to one who considers the association of Krishna in his supreme abode to be the highest perfection of life. Such a person does not wish to be elevated to the higher planets such as moon or sun or heavenly planets or even the highest planets of the universe, Brahmaloka. He has no attraction for that. He is only attracted to being transferred to the spiritual sky. And even in the spiritual sky, he is not satisfied with merging into the glowing Brahmajyoti effulgence. For he wants to enter the highest spiritual planet, namely Krishna Loka, Golok Vrindavan. He has full knowledge of that planet and therefore he is not interested in any other, as indicated by the word Mat Bhaktaha. He fully engages in devotional service, specifically in the nine processes of devotional engagement: hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering prayers, carrying out the orders of the Lord, making friends with Him, and surrendering everything to Him. One can engage in all nine devotional processes, or eight, or seven, or at least one, and that will surely make one perfect. The term Sangha Varjita is very important. One should dissociate himself from the persons who are against Krishna. Not only are they atheistic persons against Krishna, but also are those who are attracted to fruitive activities and mental speculations. Therefore, the pure form of devotional service is described in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.1.11 as follows. Anyabhilasita shunyam jnana karma adi anavritam anukulena Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktiruttama. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami clearly states that if anyone wants to execute unalloyed devotional service, he must be free from all kinds of material contamination. He must be free from the association of the persons who are addicted to fruitive activities and mental speculations. When freed from such unwanted association and from the contamination of the material desires, one favorably cultivates the knowledge of Krishna, that is called pure devotional service. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. Hari Bhakti Vilas 11.676. One should think of Krishna and act of Krishna favorably, not unfavorably. Kamsa was the enemy of Krishna. From the very beginning of the Krishna's birth, Kamsa planned in so many ways to kill him. And because he was unsuccessful, he was always thinking of Krishna. Thus, while working, while eating, while sleeping, he was always Krishna conscious in every respect. But that Krishna consciousness was not favorable. And therefore, in spite of his always thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day, he was considered a demon. And Krishna at last killed him. Of course, anyone who is killed by Krishna attains salvation immediately. But that is not the aim of the pure devotee. The pure devotee does not even want salvation. He does not want to be transferred even to the highest planet Golok Vrindavan. His only objective is to serve Krishna wherever he may be. A devotee of Krishna is friendly to everyone. Therefore, it is said here that he has no enemy, near Vairaha. How is this? A devotee situated in Krishna consciousness knows that only devotional service to Krishna can relieve person from all problems of life. He has personal experience of this, and therefore he wants to introduce this system, Krishna consciousness, into human society. There are many examples in the history of devotees of the Lord who risked their lives for the spreading of God consciousness. The favorite example is Lord Jesus Christ. He was crucified by the non-devotees, but he sacrificed his life for spreading God consciousness. Of course, it would be superficial to understand that he was killed. Similarly, in India also there are many examples such as Thakur Haridas, Prahlad Maharaj. Why such risk? Because they wanted to spread Krishna consciousness, and it is difficult. A Krishna conscious person knows that if a man is suffering, it is due to his forgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to the human society is relieving one's neighbors from all material problems. In such a way, a pure devotee is engaged in service of the Lord. Now, we can imagine how merciful Krishna is to those engaged in his service, risking everything for him. Therefore, it is certain that such persons must reach the supreme planet after leaving the body. In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is temporary manifestation, and the form of time, which devours everything, and even the form of Vishnu, four-handed, have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is the manifestation of the original Vishwaroop or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important no form of Krishna is important but the original form, two-handed Shamasundara. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who are attached to the Shamsundar form of Krishna in love and devotion can see him always within the heart and cannot see anything else. One should understand, therefore, that the purport of this 11th chapter is that the form of Krishna is essential and supreme.
Hmm. Yeah, so Prabhupada more or less elaborates on what is on Baladev Devotion's purport. Yeah, initially Prabhupada speaking about Krishna karma, that uh, if the activities, all the activities should be directed to Krishna in some way or other, and he's giving like if it is really for Krishna, then whatever profits come from the activity, that should be first offered to Krishna, and then only others can be consumed for other needs. So maybe after the class, you can spend some time and see what all activities you're doing and see how whether that is really Krishna karma or not. We cannot do now because your time is less. And then Prabhupada spoke about similar thing about Mad Bhakta is like engaging in the 9% devotional service, and the goal. The goal is one wants to attain Krishna only, not some other demigod or Brahman or something, or Swarga. And Nirvaira. So yeah, then Sangha Varjita, not just the atheistic persons, but also those who are attached to fruitive and activities and mental speculation. So these fruitive activities and mental, they may appear devotional, like they also may go to Kumbh Mela and all with lot of austerity and all, but they lack the devotion. So again, now if you see the next line, but they should be nirvana. So it's not like we condemn these people or not tell on their face you're not a devotee or you're a materialist like that. But you should not have hatred also. So which means you understand that these people associating with these people means hearing from them, etc., is not conducive for your devotional service. But you should not hate them. You should not display hatred. So can be polite and all, but can try to avoid hearing from them. You can be nice to them and see if you can connect them to Krishna consciousness. Like, the same thing may happen also with initially relatives or something also. We want to do Sangha but in the end, in doing so Sangha we may end up being Vaira, means no, by becoming inimical to them or considering them as our enemies. So the both have to be balanced. That takes maturity and guidance. Okay. Okay, any questions on this chapter? What we discussed? Then,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, initially when we come into Krishna consciousness,
Hmm.
we treat them as our enemy only. Like we fanatically we act, and later on, then by the time we realize it, and then we understand the importance. So
Yeah, that
then it
happens.
becomes,
Yes, yes.
then it becomes very difficult to manage the things, like to take them in favor, or they become totally against.
Mm.
So how
Yes,
to overcome this problem?
how to overcome? Yes, if we can repair that relationship, we can try. If that is not possible, then at least uh, don't do it further and at least help others in not doing it further. That happens maybe perhaps for everyone. Yes, if somebody is fortunate, they are trained by some experienced devotees, then it can reduce. But yeah, it happens because it is natural when somebody is a new devotee, they feel insecure. So unless they say that something is wrong and they hate somebody, they don't feel that security. So that happens, but we can try to repair when we realize it. Otherwise, at least don't do it further, and at least help some other new devotees also not to do it further. Okay. I hope does it help?
And sometimes even we need them emotionally. But since we have not given our support to them, so
Acha,
when
very good.
they are also they become revengeful. They don't
Mhm.
entertain us also.
Yeah. Yeah, so then sometimes that has to be seen case to case how to deal with it and how to repair it. and all. Mm. Yes, if
Thank
we
you very
have
much,
some
Prabhuji.
emotional needs and if they can be fulfilled in devotee association, then that can be done. But yeah, sometimes yes, so that has to be seen case to case how to repair it. It's difficult, but can take guidance and see what can be. Okay.
And Prabhuji, I like to ask you one more question.
Mm.
Uh, my counselor is His Grace Keshav Prabhu, Adapsar Center,
Mm.
and many times I need uh, proper, appropriate guidance
Mm-hmm.
in as per the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Prabhuji is not giving any kind of counseling.
Okay, Prabhu, so this you can discuss with Revtipati Prabhu and he may be able to help you. You know, no,
Okay,
Revtipati Prabhu.
I'm not criticizing Prabhuji. I'm just telling you
Ah, yeah,
my
yeah. So
problem.
your concern is genuine. I'm not saying your concern is wrong. So you can discuss this with Revtipati Prabhu. You know him, no?
Yeah, I know him.
So you can discuss with Prabhuji. He
Yes,
may
I
be
will
able to
discuss
help
with
you.
him, Prabhuji. And I have come back from Vrindavan, Prabhuji.
Ah, okay, okay, nice. Yes, so you can discuss with Prabhuji. He may be able to help you. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I got stuck up in Vrindavan, Prabhuji. Actually, it was very cold and I could not come out of that cold.
Okay. Yes, yes,
So,
you told earlier also. Yes.
yes.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for tolerating me.
No. Okay, Yashraj, Prabhu, you have some question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, I have one example. As Prabhuji said, if we are not envious to the non-devotees, but they are.
Mm.
So actually, we can see that there is one devotee of Ramanujacharya. His name was Kureshan.
Mm.
So the Chola king
Mm.
forcefully blinded him, and still he pray for his, we can say, liberation. So he said, Ramana said, actually, you are the true Vaishnav because you are still praying him for him, and you are not envy to him. So this is the Vaishnava's attitude.
Yes,
Surely.
yes, that's a very advanced one. Generally, if somebody is a sadhaka, if he is hurt, he also may feel hurt. So, but yeah, yes, we can try. Yes, if we pray to Krishna, Krishna may help in how to repair that relationship, etc. But yes, good. Okay, thank you. Yes, so I have to discuss OBA. I'll just do that. Okay. So these are the two OBA questions. Let me- So the first question, it is asking about demigod worship. Demigod worship was discussed in third chapter, seventh chapter, and ninth chapter. Different aspects are discussed and from different perspectives. In the third chapter, it's more from a positive one. Seventh chapter is also, it's both positive and a bit critical. Ninth chapter is really a bit critical in some way. So, and it is in comparison with bhakti. Seventh chapter is, it is again on demigod worship, but not in comparison with bhakti. So, first, this range of shlokas is given. You can read the translations. Read the translations one by one. Don't read purports. Just read the translation so that you will understand what is being discussed here. If you want, you can also refer the handbook. That also may help in some way. Or if you want to consult Subodhini or something, that also can help. So, first, understand the concept, what is being discussed. Then based on that, you can write in your own words. Don't just copy the shlokas as it is. You will not get marks for that. Or you will lose marks for that. So write in your own words what is being discussed and how it applies to the others or something that you can give some examples or something. Then second, points relevant for your, yeah. So the Chatushloki, it is, as I discussed also, Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana is there in that. At least for the first shloka, Sambandha is there, and second shloka, Abhideya is there. Third and fourth shloka also, to some extent, Abhideya is there. So personal application, yes, so first shloka talks about Sambandha. Sambandha means knowledge. So you can write. We have also discussed some things like how knowledge important, what type of knowledge about Krishna is important, and how that knowledge will help you to go towards Krishna. So that things you can write. Yes, like here Prabhupada purports and lectures is not there. Okay, so these are some personal application. Then the second shloka is Abhideya, with devotees and doing it constantly, relishing it. Those things are there. So that you can think of what personal application you have to write. And then third shloka also depending on Krishna, and Krishna will help. So that Prabhupada also writes, even if one is illiterate, Krishna will help in this way. So those things you can do it, discuss. You can study and you can come out with some personal application points. So write point wise, and don't just copy it from the text. Lose marks for that. And you know the word limit, so stick to the word limit, not too less and not too much more also. 600 to 900 words you can write. Okay, any questions? Yes, Yashas.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So the first question is about demigod version, second is about the Chatushloki Gita. Am I right?
Yes.
And Prabhuji, may you please send a word file of
That
these
I'll
questions?
by tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll send by tomorrow.
And also Prabhuji, notes, the notes
Okay.
Chatushloki as you shown.
Okay, that I'll send. Yeah, that I will send.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Somebody. Yes, Amrita Mataji or some question?
Yes, so my email ID, what I have given is hacked. So I have changed my email ID. So can you change my email ID? Because I am not able to see the report card.
Okay, you can send me a WhatsApp message so that I will try to forward it to BVR. They will change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, Shrikant Prabhu.
Just a quick announcement. I've sent message on the group of devotees who are not been able to complete 75% attendance as of today. So the counts that are given in front of their names is as of today. So if you attend next two classes, you have to hear two classes less and send the notes, just to clarify. Yes.
Acha, okay, if they attend, then so you calculated out of.
I calculated out of total 16 classes,
Okay.
including the next two classes. So whatever is remaining, if they attend two classes, they have to hear lectures of like two classes less. So they have option. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, fine, then fine. Okay. But will it come like that? 17%, 70%? Okay, fine, if that is. Yeah, but anyhow, just ensure that we have to finalize the attendance by fifth Wednesday, because yeah, we have to submit the attendance, and based on that, then only we can apply for closed book exam, schedule the closed book exam with BVRV. So before that, ensure that this attendance thing is resolved. Your shortfall is compensated. If you hear recording and submit notes, we can consider it. And after that, then we cannot do so much, because once we submit attendance, we cannot change it. Okay. Okay, so things are clarified. Got a bit late today. So thank you very much for your patience, participation, and attention. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you
Dhanavad.
very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji and Ram.